She was stacking inventory in the walk-in freezer. Just then, a coworker outside thought the door wasn't shut properly. So he pushed it tight and unknowingly locked her inside. Meanwhile, the manager turned off the lights, one by one, throughout the restaurant. Finally, he flipped the main power switch and left. Inside the freezer, the woman suddenly noticed everything had gone pitch black. She ran to the door, tried to push it open. But it was locked from the outside. There was still some light inside the freezer. But no matter how hard she pounded the door, no one heard her cries. The manager, still chatting on the phone, didn't hear a thing. She reached for her phone. Then remembered she had left it at the front counter. Now completely alone and trapped at -4 degrees Fahrenheit. She had to figure out how to survive. First, she tried to force the door open. She grabbed a supply cart and slammed it into the door. No luck. The freezer door held firm. Her coat was thin. And frostbite began creeping up her fingers and toes. But she couldn't afford to give up. If she waited until morning, she'd be a human ice sculpture. Meanwhile, her father was frantically trying to reach her. He called her best friend. But she hadn't heard anything either. The friend contacted one of her co-workers. They remembered she was last seen helping out in the kitchen. The manager had been the last to leave. So the friend called the manager. He insisted she had already clocked out. And he had the time card to prove it. What he didn't know was that after clocking out, someone had asked her to help move a few boxes. And that's when she got trapped. Her father, growing desperate, drove to the restaurant himself. It was already closed. He pulled out his phone to try calling again. What he didn't see was that her phone lit up just a few feet away, still sitting on the counter behind him. Inside the freezer, the woman was shivering violently. She rubbed her arms and legs, trying to keep the blood flowing. She looked at her watch. Then she had an idea. She grabbed a metal serving tray and stood near the door. She waited. A bell rang in the distance. Workers were heading out. She banged on the door, timing it as people walked past. But the freezer was too insulated. No one heard a thing. Eventually, everyone left. The mall lights dimmed. But then, a little boy wandered near the restaurant entrance. He paused. He thought he heard someone calling. He tugged on his dad's sleeve and pointed toward the door. His father listened. But by that point, the woman had passed out from exhaustion. The dad shrugged, picked up his son, and left. So did the woman's father, still unaware she was just a few feet away. Inside, she was turning blue. She dug into her backpack, pulled out spare clothes, ripped them into strips, and wrapped her hands and feet. But it wasn't enough. Then she looked up at the freezer's air vent. A desperate idea struck her. If she could block the cooling vent, maybe the temperature would rise. And maybe, just maybe, she'd survive until morning.